All right, let's start by stating your name and tell us how old you are.
My name is Nick Serpi, and I'm 27 years old.
All right, what do you do for work?
I'm an operations manager at a company called Bay Club. They are a high-end lifestyle resort, um, focused heavily on sporting amenities.
What are some of the amenities at Bay Club that you guys offer?
We offer golf courses, tennis, squash, swimming, basketball. We also focus a lot on um, a gym aspect, so weights, cardio, stuff like that.
Awesome. And where is it located?
Um, I work at a location in Santa Clara, California, but there are roughly 20 other campuses throughout California.
Awesome. What did you study in college?
I got a bachelor's degree in community sports management from Arizona State.
All right, what is your daily and weekly schedule typically like?
Um, I typically work about 5 8-hour shifts a week, roughly, um, and it kind of varies week to week. Sometimes having to work weekends and weekdays.
All right, so you don't have a set 9 to 5 schedule, you work about 40 hours a week.
Yes, I usually work a little over 40 hours a week, and it kind of varies depending upon what programs and activities we have throughout the club, and if we have events going on the weekends, focus more longer shifts, longer days there on the weekends.
All right, what else do you do during the week? Do you have any other commitments?
I play on a men's baseball team with a few of my old buddies from college.
And so what is your schedule typically like for that?
It's typically only one game a week, which is about all we could handle at our age. So,
Do you guys practice?
occasionally we'll get together and practice, but in season we usually play one game Wednesday nights.
Okay, so sometimes they'll practice. Is that when you go to the field or go to the batting cages, or what is a typical practice like?
Both. Sometimes we'll rent out a field to use and practice, and then other times we'll go into like a hitting facility and use that.
All right, so the next question is how many hours per week do you spend at work? I think we already went over this, about 40
Yeah,
plus hours.
little over 40 hours typically.
Awesome. How many hours do you usually have for leisure in a day during the week?
Somewhere around, I'd say, 4 hours, 5 hours of leisure.
Okay.
That typically consists of going to the gym for 2 hours or so after work, and then some nights even more with baseball, and other nights hanging out, relaxing, watching TV shows, movies.
All right, so then how many hours do you usually have for leisure on the weekends?
It varies depending upon work. Um, Weekends, I think, are typically more, maybe somewhere around 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
And do you think that this is enough leisure time for you to satisfy your needs?
Yeah, it was difficult at first to manage working 40 plus hours a week and still finding time to relax and do everything that you want to do. So it's getting, it's gotten easier, but I would say, yeah, it's enough.
All right, so how do you typically spend your leisure time during the week?
Kind of like I said, during the week, it will usually be a couple hours at the gym after work, and then go home and watch movies, TV shows, video games, whatever it may be.
Before bed?
Yes.
All right, and then what about weekends? How do you typically spend your leisure time on the weekends?
Weekends, usually hanging out with my girlfriend, doing chores. I would consider grocery shopping even kind of a leisure activity.
Leisure.
I enjoy that. I enjoy cooking.
Do you meal prep on the weekends?
Yes, yeah. Typically meal prep on the weekends. It'll make the week a little bit easier.
Make more leisure time in the week?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so how much time do you spend using social media, texting, other apps, and internet surfing in a normal day? It was hard for me to calculate all these together, but, Xbox, and you like to play Xbox, or just on your phone, the couple minutes adding up, how much time do you think you would spend on that in a day?
Probably adds up to, that's including TV shows and movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That probably consists of my 4 hours I was talking about, yeah.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
It's about 4 hours, you said?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. The next question I'd like to ask you is, what do you do when you have more extended time off? Like if you're taking vacation or like over summer break, what are some of the things that you like to do?
Yeah, on vacation, family and I will go to the lake and go hang out and go camping and do some water sports, water activities.
What kind of water sports are your favorite?
I enjoy wakeboarding and tubing. Typically, yeah, those are the two. I'm not a huge traveler. I enjoy it when I do, but it is a little out of my comfort zone, and sometimes it's hard for me to break out of my comfort zone and do that. But
yeah, you want to feel settled at home.
Yes, exactly. I like having all my needs around me.
Yeah. Do you think that that'll be something that you will want to do in the future once you're financially stable and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. It would be nice to do even little extended weekend getaways or taking a week off work and going to places I've never been before.
All right. So the next question is, what places / where do you like to go when you have leisure time?
One of my favorite things to do when I have leisure time is physical activity. Like I said, I love playing baseball, so anytime I can get out there and work on baseball, I'll do that. I really enjoy going to the gym. Sometimes it is a bit of a chore to get there after a long day's work, but I always feel better afterwards, and I always sometimes it helps me get through the day knowing I'll be able to go to the gym and kind of shake off some of that stress. And then the other things are cooking, like I said, playing video games with my friends online, and watching TV shows on Netflix or watching a movie.
Would you say that you go out to eat a lot as leisure? Like, are those types of destinations and places that you would go?
Yeah.
So you said like the batting cages or the baseball field or the gym, or you mentioned cooking, so the grocery store you like to go to, but
yeah.
Do you eat out?
Actually, yes, I do love to cook, but I also love to eat out. I love to try new places. I love all different types of food, and I also love going back to places I really enjoy. So, yes, I really do love to eat out.
All right, so I know we talked about, traveling being a little bit out of your comfort zone and stuff, but the next question I'd love to ask you is, what are some of your favorite places you have traveled to?
I have traveled to New York. I haven't been there actually in several years, but I would go typically every other summer when I was younger. We had more family there at the time, and my parents are originally from New York, so going back and seeing where they grew up was very cool to me, and kind of seeing their lifestyle when they were younger, and
going to Mets games.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, big New York sports fan. So Mets games, New York Giants games. I have yet to go to MSG for a Knicks game, but that is a bucket list item.
One of the places you'd like to travel.
Absolutely. Another place I've been is Florida. I have grandparents that live there, and Florida is pretty beautiful. We usually go around summertime, and it's nice and warm. It's a bit humid, but I enjoy their beaches. Florida's a good place.
Any other places?
Mm,
You've been to Mexico, right?
I have been to Mexico. I do enjoy Mexico.
Not one of your favorites, though.
It's tough because I've been to Mexico, but I've been to touristy areas, so I haven't got that full Mexico experience. But I've loved my trips that I've been there on.
Awesome. And you mentioned earlier about traveling to the lake and stuff and doing
Yes.
water sports with your family.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite lake that you've been to, or other lakes that you might want to travel to?
Lake Tulloch is always my favorite lake trip. It's typically a week-long lake trip with grandparents and some of the other kids and family members, and that's always a favorite to me.
That's fun. Alright, so the next question I would love to ask you would be, what leisure activities do you enjoy doing by yourself?
All of the ones I mentioned earlier, I enjoy doing them by myself as well as with my girlfriend or any other friends. It's always, for example, the gym. It's always nice to go with somebody else to push you and motivate you.
But you still will do it by yourself.
But I'll still, any of these activities I'll still do by myself or with others,
Right, what about like video games? Do you prefer doing that by yourself or with friends?
That I definitely prefer doing with friends.
Right.
I'm not a huge video game person, but I love playing video games because it keeps me in contact with my friends. I don't get to see them all the time.
How does it keep you in contact?
We typically communicate and we all try and hop on together, and it's a good way to catch up and see how everyone's lives are going. And
That's fun because you guys don't all live in the same area.
right, yeah, it's not even because of work and other activities that I can't see them. It's just distance. Yeah.
I see. Alright, so we kind of got into this, but what kind of leisure activities do you do with your friends and with your family?
So with friends, it's baseball, it's the gym, it's video games. With family, it's a little bit more laid back and relaxed. So that's like cooking together, going out to eat together, maybe watching a TV show together, hanging out, talking.
Maybe traveling. You do it more with your family, would you say, than your friends?
Absolutely, yeah. I usually go on a vacation at least once, twice a year with my family. Friends, not quite as much, but actually, I usually try and do a friends trip once or twice a year too, actually.
Maybe that'll start happening once you guys are all getting older and more financially stable and into that chapter of your lives.
Yes, exactly.
I see. Alright, so next question I'd like to ask you is, what are some of your favorites in music, books, TV, and movies? So let's start with music.
Music, I am kind of all over the place. I do enjoy almost all types of music. Rap, hip-hop, country, reggae, a lot of rock, early 70s, 80s rock. I know it sounds kind of weird to be into all those different types of music because some kind of contrast each other.
Yeah, it's a big variety.
Yeah, but I enjoy that.
So who are some of your favorite artists?
For
maybe like in each genre.
Yeah, for rap and hip hop, I'm a big Drake fan.
Drake.
I used to be huge on Lil Wayne, but that was probably 5-6 years ago or so.
Years ago, when he was putting out more stuff.
Rock, I enjoy. Let's see here.
I know Billy Joel is one of your favorites.
Yes,
correct?
Billy Joel.
I don't know what category is that.
Yeah, Billy Joel, Tom Petty, Counting Crows,
What about country?
Bob Dylan.
What about country? What are some of your favorite country artists?
Country, I like Jason Aldean, Kenny Chesney, Toby Keith. I've actually been to multiple of their concerts too. Those are a good time.
So what are some of your favorite books? Do you read any books?
I'm not a big reader, to be honest. I typically, if there's a book that I like, I'll try and find and see if there's a movie available. I'm not much of a big reader.
So reading is not one of your leisure activities of choice. It would not be a leisure to you.
Yeah, no, it'd be a chore.
What are some of your favorite TV shows?
My favorite TV shows, I enjoy Survivor. I enjoy Friends, How I Met Your Mother.
The Office. I know you like that one.
Yes, The Office. How could I forget? Probably my favorite.
Would you say just most any on Netflix?
Yeah, and I'd say the type of genre I like is like kind of lighthearted, funny comedy type of stuff. Yeah.
Not as serious drama ones, more just like...
Right, not super serious drama. A little bit of action and adventure maybe, but not huge on that.
Awesome. What are some of your favorite movies?
Favorite movies.
Do you have favorite actors who maybe you like their movies more?
Yeah, that might be a little bit easier to answer. I like The Rock. I like Jack Black.
So did you like Jumanji?
Steve Carell. Yes, saw Jumanji. Great movie.
Steve Carell. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next question I'm gonna ask you is, when you have leisure time and are not in a rush, what kind of foods do you like to eat? So this means, you know, what do you like to cook maybe if you have extra time, or if you have time to go out to eat? Can you give me some things like that you would like to cook if you're not in a rush, or if you would like to go out to eat if you're not in a rush?
Excuse me. One thing that I really love to eat, or my favorite type of food, is typically I like a lot of Asian food. I love Chinese food. However, I don't ever try and really cook that myself. I'll usually always go out to eat that. I feel it always tastes better than anything I can make. If I'm not in a rush, for example, in the morning, I like to make eggs, bacon, toast, stuff like that. Like I said, if I'm not in a rush, if I am, I'll typically grab a few things to go and eat on my way to work.
A quicker
in the car.
breakfast.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You like to have a full, complete breakfast when you have time.
Yes.
Let's see. What is one of your favorite Chinese restaurants?
Or
other Asian type of restaurant that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, my all-time favorite is an Asian fusion place called House of Nanking in San Francisco, California. They're extremely, extremely good. However, I don't get to eat there as much as I like because it is a trip away.
How far away is that from you?
It is about a 50 minute drive.
I see. So that's going to be one of the restaurants when you're not in a rush to
Correct.
go to.
Correct.
All right. The next question is, what is the most amazing or unique leisure activity you have done before or are doing right now? Maybe I can give you some examples.
Yeah.
I think for me, Some of the things are skydiving, or hot air ballooning, or zip lining. Kind of those extreme sports is what comes to my mind.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm glad you said that. That kind of helps me out there. One of my favorite adventures I've been on was an excursion in Mexico, where we did go zip lining and then ATVing, and that was pretty incredible. I also have been skydiving. It was very thrilling and exhilarating. I would probably do that again. I've been hot air ballooning. That's good for scenery and sightseeing, but it's not that thrill and kind of exhilaration that you want always in an adventure.
Compared to skydiving,
Compared
especially.
to, yes, exactly, stuff like that.
And the last question I'd like to ask you is, are there any leisure activities you would like to do but are not able to? And what might some of those reasons that you're unable to do those activities be?
I feel like physically I'd be able to do any activity. I don't have any health restrictions that are in the way. I think the biggest restriction on doing those is just stepping outside of my comfort zone. One thing I used to do a lot more when I was younger was go hiking and kind of off the trail too. I enjoy the adventure of that. I liked getting lost a little bit to the point where you weren't completely turned around. You knew your way, but kind of getting lost in the nature and not really worrying about what time it is and stuff. But
you'd say that one of the reasons you're not able to do that anymore is just it's out of your comfort zone and you don't really push yourself.
Well, the reason why I did that a lot more when I was younger was I had a best friend growing up. His name was Daniel Stone, and he was one of the craziest, most adventurous people I've ever met, and he would constantly push me out of my comfort zone, and that's what I loved hanging out with him. And he's now off in the Navy, so I hardly get to see him anymore. And this is stuff that I like to do, but wouldn't necessarily do quite on my own. But
so you're lacking the companion aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
The right companion.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for letting me interview.
Yeah. Absolutely.